You know, now that I've had a couple minutes on this thing, I'm starting to think that I should be fearing for my life a lot more than I am. Alright everybody, so here we are. You join me literally as the last episode with this build ended. So we have just got it to start and kind of idle, but really haven't seen much besides. So we need to take this on its maiden voyage, see how it works, see what works, frankly, because there's a lot going on with this, and the appearance obviously will show that, but I don't know how it drives. I don't know anything really about the engine except for the fact that it idles and at least wants to go in a forward direction. But let's put it to the test. We will take this around the block a little bit and I don't know, let's see. All right, even though I literally just started this like what, 15 minutes ago, I'm kind of wondering whether or not it's going to continue to start. It doesn't want to idle right away. Ooh, look at that. Oh, okay, I spoke too soon. There's still some adjustments, obviously, that need to be made. We'll move forward. Ah! Aha! I'm moving. Oh my god, is it loud. Oh, Jesus. The rear brake does nothing. Okay, so far, in the 10 feet, 20 feet that I've gone, I need to hold the throttle open to keep it idling, while at the same time the brakes don't work. We're off to a good start. This is just deafeningly loud. Oh my god. I even have my earplugs in and I still feel like I have to shout. This has zero baffling. I bet it's just straight can, really. So not only is this almost undrivable, but you won't be able to hear afterwards. Let's not give it the beans yet until we get a little bit of a systems check here. So let's see, what works, what doesn't. I know the headlights work, I know the brake lights work. Blinkers? Uh-oh. Well, that's encouraging. Oh, that's embarrassing. Good news is, it's not broken. Bad news is, I'm a block away and I ran out of gas, and it is incredibly humid today. So I'm already sweating like crazy. And now I have to walk this, embarrassingly, all the way back to the garage. So let's cut back to me riding this again. We have fuel! Let's try that again. And again, I am reminded of how loud this is. Open can, like right there. Even at just like a cruising pace, like 5-10 miles an hour, it drones. But anyways, where was I? Systems check, that's right. Speaking of miles an hour, I don't know what I'm going because there's no speedo here, nothing. The things I do have are, let's see, there's a high indicator beam which doesn't seem to be working. I have a fuel gauge which is clearly disconnected. I have a bike that won't idle. Let's see, do I have blinkers? Hey, I have blinkers! Wow, look at that! Okay, I just have left blinker, apparently. Do I have a horn? Oh, I do have a horn. And then I obviously have the kill switch and the ignition. That works just fine. I know the brake light works. I don't know if the other indicator is on. It's probably that it does work and just the wiring is really bad. I mean, look at this. It's just absolutely horrifying cobwebbed spaghetti. Oh yeah, also as addressed earlier, I have almost zero rear brake. I have some front brake, so that's something. Okay. I gave it a little bit of beans there. It's kind of slow to respond, but I'm not going to fault the scooter for that because I did completely redo the carburetor and I just used the jets that were in it, so it's probably that this is horribly out of tune. And the fact that when I really give it throttle right here, it's very slow to respond. It's not bogging, so my guess is that it's running really rich right now. but that'll be addressed later. Let's see, handling. We got a turn coming up right here. I'm actually really nervous about turns because this is so low to the ground. The engine, the Riva engine on this is huge. It's not long like the GY6 would be, but it's chunky, and since it's so low to the ground, the way it's mounted on this frame, there goes the car alarm. Sorry. Any lean angle into a turn, and whoa, and it scrapes badly. In fact, when I took off the carburetor when it was originally off to the side here, which is insane, I don't know why they would do that, you could see scrape marks on the float bowl of the carburetor. So when turning left, this scooter would scrape its carburetor on the ground. Its carburetor. Also, speaking of handling, this front end is incredibly vague. I mean, I don't think I have any suspension whatsoever in the front. These forks just feel like there's no springs in them. And on top of that, to make it even better, this handlebar is connected to a stem, which I'm pretty sure came from a mountain bike. This looks almost exactly like one of my mountain bike stems I would have had in high school. In fact, it's so sketchy that the previous owner told me this. There's actually a piece of metal inside of this where it clamps, because the stem clamped on when it's as tight as possible was still really loose. And so even now, with that little shim in there, you can still hold the front wheel with your legs and turn the handlebars. How insane is that? So as a result, the handlebars aren't entirely straight, but even if they were, it's likely in the next corner they won't be. I'm trying to think of positives now. I mean, the engine actually sounds pretty good despite the bad tuning right now. Like, the CVT actually feels pretty smooth given what it's got. It sounds pretty healthy. The compression test that I did showed that it was pretty healthy. So that's a plus. Actually, another thing I will say about handling is the suspension in the rear is the other side of it. It's actually quite comfortable. I believe, just looking at it, that the rear shock is from the Yamaha Riva, which would make sense because it mounts directly to the engine. And a lot of people have said online that the Riva's suspension stock is actually really nice. I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm gonna face my fears right here and go around the roundabout and just see how much lean angle I can get before I scrape. Oh, there it was. That's nothing. And even though I switched the carb around so it's not going to be the one scraping, now the thing that does scrape is the engine. It's that low to the ground, so I really, really don't want to be scraping this, because who knows, if that cracks the engine block, that could be bad news. Okay, let's test the rear brake now. I'm going to let off, and 1, 2, 3, full rear brake, full rear brake. That's pathetic. That is scary pathetic. You know, now that I've had a couple minutes on this thing, I'm starting to think that I should be fearing for my life a lot more than I am. This is genuinely unrideable. I mean, it's rideable, but Jesus Christ, there's a lot to be addressed here. And even though I have earplugs on right now, I'm starting to hear ringing, so I'm going to end this. And we'll see you next time. Oh, sweet silence.